2-2 again. And another foul ball.
Hanging tough. You got Reyes in swing mode. I think J.P. Sears, in that pitch specifically, maybe a little too good, a little too fat in the zone. That's how things have gone over the first 9 pitches.
So where do you go here?
Well, I think about expanding the zone. So whether it's a fastball elevated or something down.
Oh, he stays up with the sweeper and spins around Reyes for Sears' 3rd strikeout in the first out of the 3rd.
And this is a dangerous place to live, but J.P. Sears, I think, is one of the rare birds that has really gotten a feel for how to move that sweeping slider around at the top of the strike zone. Especially when you're thinking left-hander, trying to throw that sweeper coming into the righty. You know, elevating that and running the risk of that pitch backing up just sort of puts that spinner on a tee for these guys, speeds the bat up. So you have to be extremely confident in your ability to execute up there. As we know, JP definitely confident. And you know, Chris, that is such a positive sign. And when we mentioned the addition of a guy like Luis Severino and Jeffrey Springs, a couple of veterans that can alleviate some pressure on a guy, it allows them the chance to really start to dive into who they are and expand on that. So we've watched the sweeping slider for J.P. Sears become more and more of a weapon. And now that he doesn't have to worry about being the frontline guy and, you know, the dude leading the charge, he can start to dive into the craft on a different level. And I think we're starting to see that unfold in each and every outing.
Three-one to center field. Butler, good read on the ball, makes the catch over his shoulder. 2 down.
Well, I told you there was a bit of a mixed bag in terms of results for the lefty. We'll take you back to April. This is last year. Slicing and dicing was J.P. Sears. Got through 6 solid innings of shutout baseball. 1 free pass allowed. He punched out 7. Unfortunately, he'd wear a no D, no decision.
That day he faced Rodon as well. Paul Goldschmidt, who flew out to right, is up again. First pitch is a sweeper to the back door for a called strike. 0-1. I know we talked last series about Jorge Polanco possibly, or not Jorge Polanco, J.P. Crawford being a comeback player of the year candidate. Well, Paul Goldschmidt might be as well. If he can continue this after 245 year with the Cardinals last year, now just hitting everything thrown at him.
Well, and there was a moment in his career, I'd say, 5-6 years ago, I think people felt like Paul Goldschmidt maybe rounding third at that time. You know, was he going to be able to catch up with the velocity that was really starting to take over the game?
All in 2 strikes to Goldschmidt. Wind up and pitch from Sears is a back foot breaking ball that's in. 2-2. I think that he's put those narratives to rest, at least early on this year. 4 homers, 18 RBIs, making consistent contact with the ball. That's why Aaron Boone can put him in the leadoff position. 2-2, fouled away.
Well, it's just, I think, the professionalism that comes along with the approach of Paul Goldschmidt. Obviously a power threat as well still. And if you've got that kind of player putting together the kind of at-bats that he is, I think it's a great option for Aaron Boone, especially against left-handers. Only doing a little housekeeping.
So the next 2-2. Sears accepts, and the pitch home. And it's that sweeper, 3-2, and it seems like JP's going to that more and more often against righties, and it seems like he has a really good feel for it today.
Well, look, he's thrown it down intentionally. He's elevated it and tried to work it under the hands intentionally.
The payoff pitch. Goldschmidt line drive to left. It's sinking fast and will drop down for a hit. So Goldschmidt gets aboard with 2 outs and will extend the inning for Grisham.
Another solid at bat there by Paul Goldschmidt. Able to spoil a few pitches. This fastball, I mean, inner third, maybe even an inch or 2 off. And Goldie just whipping the hands through.
Grisham struck out swinging and is up again, grounding it softly to second on a few hops. Urias right there, he throws to first, and that will retire the side. 3 scoreless innings for Sears, 1-0 A's.
Your day in baseball starts with MLB Central.
Let's get it started.
Lead off your morning with in-depth breakdowns,
Perfect balance. What?
boom, interviews with the players,
Get back to the fastball.
I know what that passion feels like.
and a little bit
Keeping.
You behave properly.
Hey.
of everything else.
Come on, Marlins.
The window seats are.
The baseball day begins with MLB Central, weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, only on MLB Network.
If you're not watching this show, you're the problem.
SiriusXM's The Leadoff Spot is now on MLB Network. Join Steve Phillips and former MLB players Xavier Scruggs and Eduardo Perez for a recap of the night's action, preview of the day ahead, plus in-depth baseball interviews all season long on MLB Network.
Creek Casino Resort upcoming schedule. Well, we have one today and one more tomorrow against the Yankees, and then the next 2 weeks, well, you go to LA and San Francisco, then back at home to face the other Los Angeles team. The Angels for 4, and then the Phillies come to town on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday starting the 23rd of May. 1-0 Athletics, bottom of the third inning. Chris Carey, Dallas Brayton, Johnny Pareda at the plate. 185 on the year, 12 games with the club. And a big swing and miss, 1-1. And Carlos Rodon looking good. Did give up that solo home run to Luis Urias, but you look at his body of work so far in 2025 and is having another great year for New York. 1-1, that's hammered foul. And I was talking to Susan Waldman, one of the radio broadcasters for the Yankees.
The great.
Possibly the greatest.
Oh, man.
And she was talking about a slight velocity drop-off in the fastball and a few of the secondary pitches for Rodon, but somehow it has almost been more beneficial for him, possibly. His numbers have looked really good, despite the fact of maybe losing a tick or two.
Well, and what you start to have to do, and what you're kind of forced to do, is if you don't have the ability to really step on the baseball, or, as we say, reach back and grab another mile an hour or two if it's there for you, you got to learn how to pitch a little differently.
Pareda grounds it through for a single, and that's how we'll start off the bottom of the third inning.
Well, it feels like this is something that you just inherit in the ninth spot for the Athletics, and that's the ability to flip this lineup over, get yourself on base. Pareda finds a hole against who is the toughest pitcher on right-handed hitters.
You know, it's not the same reception as Aaron Judge as Wilson shows bunt, lays down a beauty. Up the line. Barehanded try by Peraza. He's not going to be able to come up with it. And Wilson is just doing everything right with the baseball bat.
I love everything about this kid's game. It is fun to watch. We made the comparison between he and Judge and how they go about it differently. I mean, everybody on the grass berm stands up when Aaron Judge is at the plate. I think everybody just moves to the edge of their seat when Jacob Wilson's at the plate because you just don't know what to expect.
I was saying as he was walking up to the plate, there was a nice ovation for him as well. Not as loud as Judge's, but they're starting to buy into what Jacob Wilson is doing here in West Sacramento.
Well, I think we will eventually start to see a national groundswell of attention and hopefully promotion for this young man when we start having the conversation about Rookie of the Year. Because for me, he's at the top of the list right now. And I'd be hard pressed to find another. If you've watched the game so far of Jacob Wilson unfold and you think that there's going to be anything close to sustainability here, this has got to be a guy that is right near the top of the conversation.
Oh! High drive to left. Dominguez going back, and that ball is not coming back. 4-0 Athletics. 2 singles, then Rooker drives him home, his 10th home run of the year. And he gets RBIs 20, 21, and 22.
Hammer time. Well, we've been talking about the domination of Rodon. This Athletics offense doing a fine job of chipping away at the left-hander.
Well, Johnny and I were talking about it on the radio last week about when Rooker tied the home run total with Soderstrom. And we kind of predicted, Dallas, that once Rooker tied that number, I don't think anybody's going to beat him now.
Well, Brent Rooker just irons out that little wrinkle of a breaking ball from Rodon. That thing is crushed.
10 homers for Rooker now, and at 1-1, it's bounced foul by Soderstrom.
Take another peek. Oh, checkmate via Rook. That is long gone, Rodon.
And a wave and a miss, so a good response by Rodon, striking out Soderstrom. That'll bring up Langeliers. It is truly amazing when you are able to see the type of power that Brent Rooker can possess, what he can do to the pull side. It is just wearing out that left field wall plus.
Well, you make mistakes in there. I mean, especially as a left-hander, mistakes soft coming to him, meaning those soft sliders, those soft breaking balls that just kind of back up, don't have much finish to them. Taking a look at the handiwork. So, Chris, if I played today, I'd probably walk around the dugout with an iPad in between start days with all my strikeouts ripped in a reel. I mean, it wouldn't be a long reel, but I would just have those on loop.
I was thinking something completely different. I thought you were going to have some Clash of Clans or Angry Birds or something. I was like, not locked in. He has one of the purest right-handed swings in baseball. No wasted movement whatsoever.
Well, he's just got a really good idea of how he wants to get to the baseball in different quadrants of the strike zone.
Rodon from the windup, 2-2 to Langeliers. Shea fouls it off of Austin Wells' mask.
Ooh, yeah, that's right off the kisser.
Yeah, you need to stay hydrated. 88 degrees. It's only going to get hotter here in West Sacramento. 2-2, and that's a line shot right back up the middle. That's the 4th hit this inning, the 6th this game against Rodon, and it seems like everything's been hit pretty hard against the left-hander.
Well, it sure has, and it's the righties that have been responsible for the damage. Watch your lips, Rodon. This one right back up the box. He's putting together some pretty good swings here.
Langoliers at first on Duhar at the plate and swinging on the first pitch. Bouncing ball to short. It's bobbled by Volpe. He goes to second, and Langoliers is beaten there. On Duhar will head to first, but the hand is up in the A's dugout, and it was a bang-bang play, and they are going to take a look at this.
Well, and I think we all understand the foot speed of Shea Langoliers, and I think as this play started to unfold and Volpe got eaten alive by that ground ball, I mean, I got to believe that foot is well in there before the play at second. You see that ball just skip up. Volpe a little chin check. I mean, Langoliers' foot well on the bag long before the ball ever gets there.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner is safe. The Athletics will retain their challenge.
Yeah, I mean, he's in there.
Yeah, Langoliers, that foot in there well before the throw is received.
So what could have been a double play actually ends up runners on first and second, and still only one out. Butler comes up. Second look at Rodon for Lawrence Butler. Langoliers at second on Duhar at first. And it's 1-0.
Well, and that's a great sign there. The take from Butler. Runners in scoring position, tough left-hander on the mound. Able to be patient. And right now, this is where you would love for Lawrence Butler to be able to step up and deliver.
There's 95 right down the middle. Rodon from the stretch. We'll look over to second. Langoliers back in. That left side of the infield, if Butler could poke it that way, could likely score Langoliers with his speed on second. Check swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Slider does Butler in, and 2 are down.
Well, Rodon right back to it, and I think the first pitch slider was a fact-finding mission. Lawrence didn't bite, but after that, Rodon able to make his pitches.
So Urias is up. Homer to right to open up the scoring last inning. First pitch he sees is high, 1-0.
There he is. Louis liftoff launches one. Rodon's like, really? Homer?
Off the end of the bat. Goldschmidt to his right now, the race to the bag, and a barehanded catch by Rodon to cover. 3-1 put out. But Brent Rooker adds 3 more to the A's cause. His 10th home run of the year makes it 4-0 Athletics through 3.
This is a guy who has MVP type potential.
Luis Robert is one of the most talented players in the league.
Great nickname, La Pantera.
La Pantera can do it anywhere on the field.
He has the potential to be a 30-30 guy that can knock in 95 to 100 runs.
As a fan of the game, there's nobody I enjoy watching in center field than Mr. Luis Robert.
La Pantera!
Step up to the plate and get ready to play ball. The baseball show for kids where you can learn about batting, fielding, and everything in between from the real pros. Every swing is a big hit on Play Ball. Saturday mornings at 10 Eastern on MLB Network.
Well, right fielder Rooker has a 3-run home run in this game and makes it a 4-0 game as we approach. An immediate response by the captain of New York. And the Yankees have scored in the fourth. It's 4-1. His 13th home run of the year. And just crushed the baseball, got it up in the air, 106 off the bat. Now it's Bellinger. Right back to work goes J.P. Sears.
Well, if the Yankees were going to climb their way back in it, they were going to need to do a little something this inning, and Aaron Judge starts it off with some fireworks. J.P. Sears looking to kind of build on that momentum from the last half inning his offense put together, but the Yankees have disrupted that momentarily. And you just watch the swing of Aaron Judge, the approach at the plate. You know, I think there's been a lot of talk about what Alex Bregman has been able to do since his arrival in Boston and how much that wall has been a friend of his. I think you can say the same thing for Aaron Judge. He understands what a short porch out there in right field he's working with back at home in the Bronx. Why would you not get used to letting the ball travel, hammering the ball the other way? And that's exactly what he does here. I mean, that is a mountain of a man creating an incredible amount of force and energy. I mean, this ball, as it starts towards the middle of your screen and then just continues to carry and take off out into that Yankee bullpen.
2-2, a liner through for a hit.
Well, we've been talking about that homer list in one way or another for this franchise. This is a pretty important one. We're talking about the all-time Yankee homer leaders. Knocking on the door of Alex Rodriguez. Good chance we see that passed by the end of this season.
So Volpe now. Breaking ball strike. Anthony Volpe walked, got to second base, and then tried to test Soderstrom's arm after a one-out fly ball to left. Soderstrom caught the ball flat-footed, but was still able to load up and gun down Volpe at third. Sears gets him to 0-2. Another great crowd on hand here for a Saturday afternoon. Berm fairly occupied. The concourse, it looks like you can't even move in there. Oh, 2 check swing. Yes, he did go around. Volpe not too happy with the decision at first base by Edwin Moscoso, but a good response by J.P. Sears to get the first out.
And he catches Volpe just kind of flailing here. And again, J.P. Sears slinging that slide piece down. We've seen it up. Just another good example of him moving that pitch around.
Volpe, a gamer, New York Yankee through and through. Probably slightly disappointed with the strikeout there and the error earlier in this game. As expected, a fair amount of Yankees fans here, I would say.
Sure. You know, I just noticed something. I've been well aware of the mustache of Mr. Wells, but the grit, the scruff as well. We know that the Yankees sort of loosen the reins a bit in regards to facial hair.
Out in front as well. What was the exact wording that they used? Well manicured?
Yeah, well manicured, which, Wellesley, I hate to put you on the spot. I don't know how well manicured that is. Trent Grisham with a dynamic lip bumper.
2-2 in the air to left. Soderstrom drifts back and makes the catch. And now we'll hear a word from Red Hawk Casino Resort.
Escape to the newest jewel of Northern California, the all-new Hotel Red Hawk Resort Casino. Just steps from the casino floor and the excitement of kart racing and bowling at the Apex. Yes, your room is ready at the all-new Red Hawk Resort Casino.
So, if it's a lip bumper for Trent Grisham, what does that make what's on your face exactly?
Indescribable. A mess, I think you can start there.
I was going to say something synonymous with Spanish moss.
It's really more of a veil cover up. I mean, I'm not sure, like on a scale of 1 to Ned Flanders from The Simpsons, I'm not sure where that's at. I think Austin Wells might have him beat.
A ball and a strike to Jason Dominguez. Well, do you remember, I think the Red Sox were playing in a postseason and they all grew out beards.
That happened.
And there were some really, really good beards that kind of looked like your beard. Slow rolling ground ball to third. Andujar gathers, throws to first, and beats out Dominguez by a step. The Yankees get one back after a Judge homer. It's 4-1 A's.
If you're a Rockies fan, they've got some young talent.
Pretty dynamic, everyday position club.
Starting to see some young guys with some serious talent. There's some speed and there's some pop.
I mean, I always keep a little chip on my shoulder.
He made the catch.
Crazy range, rocket arm.
They just need to have some guys that have breakout years. There's potential there to have that.
They're going to be competitive in every game.
I'm Jesse's uncertainty, and I really thought house projects were my time to shine. one little, "Are you sure?" He gets stuck before he even got started. But Jesse's changed because of Thumbtack. With their guides, he knows exactly what to do and who to hire. And his house is looking great. Where does that leave me?
Uncertainty doesn't live here. You do. Take care of your home with Thumbtack. Download the app today.
All-Star Teacher Award is presented by Provident Credit Union. Go to NBCSportsCalifornia.com or scan the QR code to check out Laura Nunez of East Palo Alto Academy in East Palo Alto, as well as the other finalists, and vote for your All-Star Teacher. Grand prize-winning teacher's school will receive $30,000. Vote now.
Tell you, those Straw Hats getting some good run. I can appreciate a good bucket hat. Those guys are dialed in.
Cooking a little bit. First pitch to Kurtz is a strike on that Rodon slider. It's been a good pitch against lefties so far in this game. Really, lefties and righties alike.
It's been a good pitch, period, for Rodon. So much so, I think you start to go down the list and see how guys have gone about their business, what kind of success they're having from pitch to pitch. You think about a guy out in Los Angeles by the name of Yamamoto, and what do you think about? Well, that devastating split. Opponents hitting 0.86 against that. That's the best mark in baseball against that pitch. Hunter Green, his wipeout slider, 0.89 for opponents.
1-2. It won't matter. It's called out. On strikes is Nick Kurtz on that slider. Another strikeout for Rodon. Make that 7.
And it's another strikeout against Nick Kurtz on a slider looking. And that is now 6 strikeouts of the 7 for Rodon via that slider. And what are opponents hitting against his slider? Under 100. 0.98.
First pitch strike on a slider to Pareda. The zone might have opened up a bit. Johnny had a single and later scored. The first of 3 runs to come in the bottom of the 3rd. And now a tip and miss, 0-2.
Well, you get the sense that Rodon said, all right, no more dilly-dallying around here. I need to get back at it.
And he's not wasting much time here. He's getting the ball, getting back on the rubber, and throwing.
We're just trying to, again, create a little rhythm for yourself after a rough inning.
This is a Yankees club that has been without Garrett Cole, and they've still found a lot of success. 2-2, a wave and a miss. That's a 96-mile-per-hour fastball. 8 strikeouts now for Rodon. That's back-to-back here in the 4th.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the Yankees, Garrett Cole's not going to be walking through that door anytime soon. You know, and I think as the season continues for the Yankees, they continue to play ball the way they have. You start to think about what teams are going to look for, what teams are going to need as they work their way through the summer and hopefully into a postseason run. Got to believe that starting pitching is going to be on the docket for the Yankees.
Well, Jacob Wilson up. He's doubled, and then he laid down a bunt single. And his average has climbed up to 362. That's second in the American League behind Aaron Judge, who was homered today. As you mentioned, 2 totally different playing styles, but just doing it in the right side batter's box. And what is so interesting is Jacob Wilson can put the bat to the ball better than most anyone in the league. Maybe Luis Arias is up there. Aaron Judge, of course. But he's also laying down a bunt. How do you defend that?
And that's why trying to be as well-rounded of a hitter as you can be, if you don't possess the 40-plus homer kind of pop, it adds a layer of indefensibility, unpredictability about yourself as a hitter.
3-1 to center. Grisham is there. And a 1-2-3 inning for Rodon in the fourth. It stays 4-1 Athletics.
I want to talk about the Angels. They're my big surprise team of 2025.
The Angels make sure the halo will shine brightly tonight.
The energy level and the swag and the confidence.
It is Crowder here.
Game's on notice.
Magneto magnificent.
High octane. It is fuel. It is hot. It's coming at you in a big way.
It was 105.5 miles an hour.
No way.
The Halos are unstoppable right now.
Right this second, at some diner somewhere,
I'll have a...
someone really wants a soda. But that same someone doesn't want to be like the only someone to order a soda. Embarrassing. Yeah, she's looking at you.
Yeah, I know the struggle is real, honey, but so are all these other...
What if there were a better soda?
Hun, get a Poppy. It's a soda with 5 grams of sugar.
Okay. Okay, so this waitress is a genius.
Can I get one too?
Chance to run like a big leaguer. Youngsters 12 and under are invited onto the field after Sunday's day game to run the same bases that their favorite A's players do. You can secure your tickets for tomorrow's Mother's Day ball game against the Pinstripes at athletics.com/runthebases. Oh, he's pumped. We got tickets.
Here's strike one. 4-1 the score. Athletics lead, top of the fifth. J.P. Sears, 71 pitches. So has been pretty conservative against a Yankees order that has been tough all year long. So running the bases, you've got 3 young daughters. They possess some skills. Who's hitting the bags the best?
Ooh, I'm going to say the middle one. She is awfully fleet of foot, cutting the corners nicely.
1-1. That's a rocket up the middle for a hit. And Reyes will settle for a single.
Listen, pretty good bolt there by Reyes, coming into the ball game, struggling mightily against left-handers. Just 1 for 10. We'll make it 2 for 12.
So Peraza flew out to center. Is up and swinging and flying it right side of the infield. Fighting the sun is Urias. It's Kurtz and he drops the baseball. Urias will go to second base. Wilson is there. And at least they are able to record the out.
Yeah, you'll take an out any way you can get it. Whether or not you're happy about it, we can talk about it later. But this is a very, very high sky this afternoon. Something we kind of reference, during spring training. And that's not only because of the weather, the clear skies. Things are starting to turn, especially for the Athletics out in the desert. But understanding, facility-wise, there's just not the extra layers, the extra decks that you're able to sort of use to help contrast where the ball's at, background, give you a reference point, depth perception.
You know what was the most impressive part of, a forgettable play in some ways is the fact that they maintained their composure to at least get the out. Urias gave up the ball to Kurtz, who called him off. It clipped off of his glove. Urias was right there to back him up and throw to second. And I feel like it would be those little things that, especially with a young team, that some guys are making, their first trip to the big leagues, experiencing it for the first time, learning in some ways on the fly. To be able to do those things is great. See Sterner warming up in the bullpen.
And JP Sears getting a little love in there. Remember, left-handers with David Rackley behind the plate, probably better served to try to attack in. That's where you're going to get some expansion of the zone.
3-1 to Goldschmidt. That's yanked foul. 3-2 now.
Well, he got the head out.
Three-two pitch. In the air to left. And Soderstrom, another chance, makes the catch. And now we'll hear a word from the Sacramento airport.
Thank you for pushing us to get better, to do things differently, and for making Northern California the incredible region it's become. It's been a trip. Now, who's ready for the next leg?
So 2 outs, top of the 5th inning. The man with a lip bumper.
That's it.
And Trent Grisham coming up. No batting gloves either. 0 for 2 today. Runner on first, a 4-1 Athletics lead. And JP Sears goes sweeper away 1-0.
Well, that's long been the MO of Trent Grisham. Just another reason I think, some diehard ball fans just kind of fall in love with a guy like Trent Grisham. You see this sort of cavalier approach defensively. Just cool, calm, and collected.
Hit this one to center. In comes Butler. He's still coming. He runs and makes the catch on the run. So Sears gets through 5 with 1 run against him.
I think this is the Phillies' division to win.
Everybody knows their role within the team and are motivated collectively to go after that World Series ring.
Bryce Harper is one of the great faces of our sport.
Great ones do great things when it matters.
Trey Turner, just tools out of his mind.
Trey Turner, mammoth home run.
Zach Wheeler. But this guy has been nothing but sensational since he was signed.
This fan base loves us as a team. I love the city, man. A lot of fun to be able to go in the bank every single day.
They are a complete team. Time to win for the Phillies.
This is Fubo. It's a better way to watch ESPN and other top sports networks. Plus, get coverage of your local teams all year long. Start watching at FuboTV.com.
Ooh, that's a lovely view.
What are you two looking at?
Tip pick.
What did you say?
Tip pick. Tickets to the show with no hidden fees.
Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is
booming.
Stream every pitch with Grand Slam power when you connect hundreds of devices at once. There's a shot of the ballpark. The Athletics lead by 3. It's 4-1. Brent Rooker is the main contributor of that result. The 3-run home run in the 3rd. He leads off in the 5th. That homer was his 10th of the year.
Yeah, he leaned all over that hanging breaker.
And he'll hit this one to right. In comes Bellinger and will make the catch chest high, 1 down.
You know what? Just forget about that line out to right. Let's go back to the 5th and watch this one fly. See ya. 3rd inning. Brent Rooker put the boys on the board in a big way. Three-run Johnny.
First pitch strike to Tyler Soderstrom. He's flied out and struck out. Rodon has settled in. Now 0-2 is Soderstrom.
Those are always good signs. Brent Rooker able to stay back on a breaking ball for the homer and then drive that pitch the other way.
Rodon has sat down 6 straight. One and 2 to center field. Grisham going back, and a step or 2 shy of the warning track makes the catch in the sun. 2 away. There have been some loud outs today, on top of the fact there have been some loud hits for the Athletics today.
Yeah, and I think that one right there, you just get a couple more degrees under it, and that thing is beating down that batter's eye out there in center field. But that's the positive. We talk about it ad nauseum, but you know, the results are one thing. I think if you're results oriented.
Broken bat, dropped into center field. So Langoliers another hit. He has a 2-hit game. Time now for the Blue Moonlight bright spot. Well, Miguel Andujar over his last 14 games, .340 average, 8 runs batted in, .852 OPS, has only struck out 3 times. He's 0 for 2, reaching on an error. Now hammers this one to right center. It's dropping fast, and it gets down and all the way to the wall. Langoliers will easily come around to score. Andujar stops at second base. No, he's going to push for third, but it might have gotten lodged. But the A's will either have him on second and third, and I think they will, Dallas. As Langoliers came around to score, because the ball got lodged, Langoliers will have to move back to third base.
Well, that's, I think, what they're discussing right now. Mark Kotsay may have a question, though, because with Bellinger going in after the baseball, we'll have to see if the ruling was made as that happens. So let's take a look. This ball going to bounce in front of Grisham. As it dies, he can't get to it. Now let's stick with it here. Settles up. You can see Bellinger throw the hands up and then go in for the baseball and comes out and makes a play on it. So I think what Mark Kotsay is going to say is, hey, hands are up, but he goes in and makes a play. So what would you have him do? And I think Guccione's saying, hey, we're going to talk about it, but
this is, of course, important considering the fact that there are 2 outs.
Oh, absolutely. It is of major importance.
The call on the field was a lodged ball. It's a 2-base award. The runners will be placed at third and second base.
Well, I got a couple comments here. Not only is that the correct call, whether you like it or not, but you also have to tip your cap to this crew, because I think you'll watch the runners here. Shea Langoliers hits second, on to third, and I think that's where Mark Kotsay may have had the question where Langoliers was at, because it looks like he hits third base before Cody Bellinger even gets to the baseball and raises his hands. And I think that may have been the question that Mark Kotsay had, but again, that's of no importance. But I did want to highlight David Rackley's explanation. Because I think for fans at home, watching the game, for fans in the ballpark, I know they appreciated just, a mildly detailed explanation for what was going on, what the question was.
One's up to Butler. 2 in scoring position, 1-1. Make it 1-2.
Well, and I think there's a good chance that Rodon's going to spin another slide piece here.
2 strikeouts for Butler today. Rodon on the first base side of the rubber, the 1-2 pitch home. Here it is. And he got Butler swinging. That'll end the inning for the Athletics. So another strikeout for Rodon. It stays 4-1 for the moment through 5 innings of play.
Introducing baseball's all-new national pregame show, MLB Tonight, live at 5. Join Greg, Harold, and Dan and a star-studded roster for a preview of all the night's matchups. Get a first look at the lineups.
Everything looks good right now for the Yankees.
First take from the players.
I'm just excited to put any pair of cleats on.
And the first of many breakdowns every game night. A full night of baseball starts at 5. MLB Tonight's national pregame show, live at 5 Eastern on MLB Network. The MLB Network podcast is here. Join your favorite on-air personalities for unique perspectives, in-depth interviews, and untold stories from on and off the field. The MLB Network podcast, presented by New Balance. Available wherever you get your podcasts.
How easy is it?
There's a good look at Old Town Sac on a beautiful Saturday. Sure, in a few hours from now, that place is going to be bumping. And it's bumping here in West Sacramento as the Athletics boast a 3-run lead. Now in the 6th inning, it's 4-1. And it's Aaron Judge up on the first pitch, taking a strike. And there's been a change. And when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Engine light on, we can fix that. It's Justin Sterner.
Sterner has been outstanding.
And if there was ever a time to go to the bullpen, despite the fact J.P. Sears was excellent on 82 pitches, 5 innings, and earned a run off of 4 hits, a walk, and 4 strikeouts, it's Aaron Judge, 3rd time up.
Well, and not only is it the 3rd time up for Aaron Judge, again, I think with the mixed bag of results that J.P. Sears has experienced against this club, this is an opportunity to get him out of there, having give you a good body of work.
2-1 to center field. Butler going back at the track and at the wall. That's halfway up the batter's eye. He's got a 2-homer game. You can't stop this guy. That's the first run Justin Sterner has allowed this year, and it's a massive solo home run from Judge. Boy, has he come to play on a Saturday in West Sac.
Well, you can hear the MVP chants. Judge passing a little info along.
Yeah.
14 homers on the year now for Judge.
Incredible. Off the bat, I think everybody in the ballpark knew it. Aaron Judge barely able to keep it fair, but it's gone. man, oh man.
Just snuck it inside of the pole.
Goodness.
So Bellinger now. I mean, does it seem to you, and I know we're talking about Major League Baseball, these are grown men. I mean, the absolute pinnacle of the sport, the major leagues, but this seems like an even bigger man playing against other men that are smaller.
No, this seems like a grown man playing against little leaguers. You know, and I've got some friends in my life who have tried to do that as grown men, play against younger opponents.
Like bench warmers?
Didn't quite work out to this extent.
3-1, and Bellinger walks.
I mean, just... It's a marvel. You know, and it's one of those guys who's on one of those runs, but really a sustained run in his career where it's tough to not let the numbers on the back of the jersey, in this case, get to you. Typically, it's the name on the back of the jersey that we talk about. But in his case, you see old number 99 roll up there. Just gives you a different feeling. This is a guy who, you know, the physical presence in the box is one thing. You look up and inevitably you peek at the numbers and they're astronomical offensively. And you're just asking yourself, where's the out? Where's the reprieve? And right now the answer is hang with them. There ain't one.
Well, that baseball needed an injury attorney, and that meeting on the mound was brought to you by the injury attorneys of Ashton Price.
Yeah, it was banged up, to say the least.
So Anthony Volpe, who's 0 for 1, does have a walk, is up with nobody out. Already one run scored by the Yankees in the 6th. It's now a 4-2 game. Maybe the batter's eye needed an injury attorney.
Yeah, well, there's where it hit.
He hit it pretty hard when the Cubs came to town. That's going to split the gap into left center and get all the way. No, it'll be cut off by Soderstrom. Nice play by the left fielder. Relay throw in is cut off by Wilson. And instead of scoring Bellinger, it's runners on second and third with nobody out.
And that's a fabulous, fabulous effort there from left fielder Tyler Soderstrom. Catches a little slider here. Stays up, but Sodi, not only does he cut it off, but the pivot and able to get it back in a timely fashion. That holds Belly over at third base.
Wells takes 1-0.
You can start to hear the Yankee fans trying to climb back into this one. Second and third, nobody out. Sterner in a bit of a spot.
There's a strike. Well, we experienced that last series against Seattle. The back and forth, nobody ever being out of the game, the pendulum swinging. See McFarland going to work now. Fouled away by Wells, and it's 1-2. And for an outfield that hasn't played with each other much, if at all, in terms of this positioning, Rooker, Butler, and Soderstrom have looked good as a trio today.
Well, I think communication can help solve a lot of issues or questions.
1-2. That's lifted to left. Soderstrom moves back. He will make the catch. Bellinger's going to come home and score. It's a 4-3 game. Sacrifice fly for Wells. His 24th RBI is the third run of the Yankees contest. It's 4-3.
And the Yankees showing you exactly why their offense ranks at and near the top of most magical statistical categories. You've got the power display from Aaron Judge 2 times over this afternoon. The patience from Bellinger. Volpe steps up and delivers a big knock. And then Austin Wells just sort of cleaning things up with a productive out, a productive at bat. And that's how the Yankees have been able to build innings and capitalize.
So Jason Dominguez will switch sides of the plate. Bat from the left side where he had 2 of his 3 homers, including that 8th inning grand slam last night. And that got away from Pareda. Moving to third is Volpe. That was spiked in the dirt, and it might have kicked off of David Rackley's shin guard behind the plate.
Well, let's take a peek. And it sure does. That right shin guard sends it greening over to the first base side.
So it scored a wild pitch. Now 2-0 Dominguez. He tags it back foul.
It looks like a little double barrel action for the Athletics. TJ McFarland and Holman starting to rock.
To 2 strikes goes Dominguez. 0 for 2 with a fly out. Resulted into a fly out to left to 5 double play. F7 5 double play.
Well,
and then a ground out to third.
Let's see if Sterner can wipe out Jason Dominguez. I think Pareda may have wore one. Not feeling good. Take a look at the backswing here from Dominguez. Oh yeah, right on that elbow, that forearm junction.
Two 2. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And Sterner will walk Dominguez to bring up Pablo Reyes. So on the corners are the Yankees now. 1 run away from tying it. It's the second walk issued by Sterner. And for a man who's been so consistent and so solid, I think that Aaron Judge home run, not only did it rattle off of the batter's eye, but sometimes something like that can get you out of focus. It's Cabrera grabbing a bat and will likely be the pinch hitter here to face the righty Sterner.
Well, you can see the Athletics players checking over their defensive cards here to get the read on Cabrera.
How big are those defensive cards? Are they like a sticky note or?
Smaller than a sticky note.
Flash card smaller than a sticky note?
Smaller than a sticky note, smaller than a flash card. There's color coding, a lot of numbers.
And does a number indicate a certain part of the diamond to stand at, or?
And look, that's all what I will call proprietary information, meaning
right.
whichever, whatever is valued by each independent franchise. But for the most part, it's similar.
It's kind of like receiving signs from a third base coach. Every sign could be different depending on the organization. Some third base coaches do something different than.
Oh, yeah. I mean, from there, you're talking about, hot, cold, opening, closing signs and indicators, floating indicators. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you go there. But it's just, you have reliever cards, and for them, you have the cards for your opponent. Cabrera, 1 for 2 as a pinch hitter this season.
1-0. Dominguez is going. It's a fly ball to left, but Dominguez slid into second. It's going to hang up in the air for a while. Now coming in and trying to tag, and he will score, is Volpe, and the game is tied at 4-4. So it was enough, but the throw didn't have enough behind it. It was cut off by Andujar, and the game is even in the 6th.
Fastball up, and Cabrera able to get it deep enough out in left field. And we've seen some good throws from Tyler Soderstrom. But this one just not quite enough on it.
Peraza now, big cut, 0-1. The Yankees offense has figured something out third time through the order, and it's against a different pitcher in Sterner. A pitcher who has been one of the best relievers in all of baseball to start a season. So now the goal is just keep it a tie ball game.
That's it.
7, 8, and 9 are due up for the Athletics in the bottom of the 6th. Urias, Kurtz, and Pareda.
You know, but it's understood that you just can't let off the gas pedal at any point in time.
Sterner gets the 2 strikes against Peraza.
Sterner, a laborious 6th inning here. 28th pitch coming up for the right-hander.
One, two. That's hammered down the left field line, and it's big trouble. And it is off the pole and gone. Peraza's second of the year gives the Yankees a 6-4 lead. They have scored 5 runs in the 6th and come all the way back against Sterner and the Athletics.
When it rains, it pours, and they have poured it on. Just trying to will it fair, will it stay fair. And it sure did. Ring it up.
So 6-4 the score with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. We'll see a new reliever when we come back.
That starting rotation, it doesn't get better than that.
Dominating night from Logan Gilbert.
Trying to be out there and take the ball as much as I can.
Swing and a miss against Luis Castillo.
It's wipeout stuff.
He's a legit ace.
Talk about depth the Mariners really have.
What a masterpiece from George Kirby.
Just trying to go out there and give my team the best chance to win.
Julio Rodriguez is an absolute superstar out there in center field.
Go by zone Julio.
Once I go, I just want to have everything ready.
The guy's dangerous.
Julio!
We do not talk about this superstar enough, and that's Rafael Devers.
6th straight game with a home run.
Jarren Duran is an extra base machine.
I've just always been like that guy that keeps his head down and works hard.
Swing and a miss.
Crochet's got that kind of electric stuff.
This green monster is tailor-made for Alex Bregman's swing. Great fit for Bregman, great fit for the Red Sox.
This was the piece that they really needed.
The guy's a winner. He's got all the talent.
The Red Sox are a much better team this year than they were last year.
Show is going to be here before you know it. You can come out and enjoy pop fireworks and channel your inner Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter. We've got Ariana Grande when the Orioles come to town in June. Don't miss out on all 4 dazzling Sky High shows by visiting athletics.com/tickets. We've had a mid-game fireworks show break out here this afternoon. Unfortunately, it's been the Yankees who have been lighting them off.
Well, there's a man who has 2 of the Yankees homers. And there's been a pitching change. Grant Holman in the game now to try and get Goldschmidt. Who's the 8th hitter to come up this inning. You know, this is showing shades of the final game against Seattle on Wednesday, where Seattle won 6-5. The Athletics scored 5 runs through the first 4 innings without allowing a run. And then from the 5th inning on, the Mariners, scored 6 runs. Athletics score 4 runs through the first 3 innings of play from 4, 5, 6. The Yankees score 6. Just a tale of 2 games. And obviously, Justin Sterner's magical streak comes to an end in a big way.
Yeah, abruptly.
Just when you thought he could sustain it forever, obviously, you know, this is the major leagues. At some point, there might have been a slight dip, and it happens here. The top of the 6th inning against the Yankees.
You can understand the frustration, but also understand, like you said, at some point in time. At some point in time, I think, you know, there's a settling effect that takes place. It's just unfortunate that it happened in the fashion that it did.
2-2 to Goldschmidt. 4-seamer in, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Six runs off of 7 hits, including 3 home runs today for New York.
Aaron Judge back
tipped back foul. On that 6-5 loss to Seattle, the Athletics scored 3 in the first, then 2 in the 4th, and were unable to score after that. So now it's what the A's have had to do a number of times here at home and respond after being punched in the mouth. 3-2 payoff pitch. Hard ground ball to short. Wilson throws to first, and that will stop the bleeding. But 5 It's now 6-4 New York.
It's a great night for baseball.
This matchup features some of the best talent in the game. A lot of power, a lot of marquee names.
Here we go. Buckle up, folks.
There's a guy who wants to be in the spotlight.
The bats have come alive. A showstopper.
We're just playing Powerball.
This place doesn't know what hit him.
These teams are entertaining, are they not?
The show continues. Experience game-to-game coverage of the night's biggest moments, live and commercial-free. MLB Network Strike Zone, Wednesday and Friday nights all season.